Hello people of Gensokyo, this is Sabian playing Touhou Lost Branch of Legend, finally back after, a very busy week followed up by an illness last weekend. Hopefully I'll be back to have at least 2 to 4 videos each week. I do intend to start recording the Seed of the Week that happens on the LBOL Discord, but for today we're doing some more modded content. Specifically, we're coming back to Utsuho. Last time we played, quite a bit of Black Utsuho. It went decently enough, but not perfectly, that's for sure. But yeah, she's got some changes since, and I also have a lot more experience with her. So hopefully these runs will go, a bit better. And we'll be playing, Red Utsuho today, since we already did Black Utsuho last time. And yeah, ideally we get either a heat or a firepower into salvo build. But yeah, whatever we get, we'll try and go for it. Nothing special today, just Lunatic 7 gameplay. And I do want to, keep the video a bit shorter this time. And don't really want to be recording for 2 hours today because I'm still not 100%, so I did turn on turbo mode, so today's run should hopefully be a bit shorter and a bit faster. So don't tend to like sponsor because it starts with 10 gold, just same issue as Reimu. Not gonna swap as I mentioned for modded characters, so it's recall or alter. And considering transforms could turn one of her cards into I do normally like transform, but Utsuho is very... Her archetypes just generally follow their own lane. She has very great mixed cards, but the cards that aren't mixed don't generally go well together. So I'd rather just have the choice here and just pick from 3 random uncommons. Both Keyboard Solo and Ignition seem acceptable here. The thing about Utsuho here is because she does tend to depend on her spell card, Act 1, Red Utsuho specifically. Heat generation gets 30 heat, and Hellgeyser just vents it for 60 damage spell card basically. She tends to depend on that for elites. I tend to prefer doing only 2 in Act 1, so I can use my spell card on both of them. So I tend to go for gaps on 1-1 and just upgrade the card I got for starting or from combats if it's good. And I already know if I get the Ignition here, I'm going to want to upgrade it. So this looks like, a possible, possibly the best pick out of these 3. Though Keyboard Solo would also be great. Yeah, I think it's just going to be Ignition here. And we'll go to the 1-1 gap and upgrade it. Should also make both Aya and the 3 Fairies of Light much easier as elites, thanks to the the status countering it has. Because if Aya puts newspapers like the pros are doing now, or the 3 Fairies of Light put all their curses on my deck, I do get to just exile them. I mean, not exile them, but punish them anyway by dealing damage. Yeah, that will help with 2 of the 3 elites. So yeah, shame I can't really use it here without taking damage. So I'm just gonna remove some grace and fully block. Yeah, the Ignition tends to, be a lot harder to use before the upgrade. Going from 4 to 2 is absolutely huge. This is 1 crow down. This is just for heat, because the grace would have been removed at the end of turn anyway. And it's not in dealing damage because the crow has grace. This is actually useful though. Generate heat with my exhibit. And that's that crow. No damage taken, that's very nice. If we're going for heat, flare up is, even if we're not, flare up is definitely quite good. So yeah, this looks like just a good pickup here. 2 weaken vulnerable plus 1 mana vent. Because, you know, the having vent options tends to be very good on Reddit, so because her heat generation cards tend to be quite strong, except if you don't vent, the damage over time is generally pretty low. But if you do vent the extra damage that you generate, you know, there's cards that are like, this is like 19 heat, so 19 damage for just red is pretty good. There's the 2 mana to gain 25 heat, and it vents if you have over 50. Like 2 mana 25 damage is obviously very powerful. Yeah, the heat cards tend to be quite powerful if you actually manage to turn the heat into damage. So having a secondary source of venting is going to very likely help us quite a bit. So sadly, it does seem like we're taking some damage here. We're going to check here. So this would be 20, let's say 22 at most. Plus 8, yeah, this isn't killing. So I guess we'll be taking 7 damage here. This is a kill though. And there we go. Technically the optimal order was the other way around, but didn't really... Speaking of which, 2 mana, 8 damage every turn, assuming you can, you know, actually vent the heat. And the heat plus the ignition are going to be decent cheap damage in an AoE against the AoE encounters like Kadamas or Bats, so rather useful here. At this point, we probably would like some defense as well. Okay, so for the reason I explained at the start, I do tend to like transforming a bit less here on Larva. It's bit me in the ass quite a few times to big transform here and just get something that I really can't use. I think I'm actually just going to go for a transform over an upgrade this time. Well, it's not an option I pick often because Larva comes at a time where transforms tend to be very good. But at this point I think upgrading Ignition is very helpful, and on the gap we'll instead upgrade the Star Reactor to get 12 heat every turn. Okay, so Marisa tends to be the hardest boss for Utsuho in my opinion, because you know you need to generally apply, use vent to apply your damage to the enemy, and Marisa tends to get grazed relatively often. So if you can't vent through the grace, you tend to get a bit screwed. But for our case, we have Ignition here, plus the Start Reactor, accumulating as heat constantly, so eventually even just the damage over time will be useful. And the Ignition is going to be very good against her because she does put a lot of statuses in her deck. So I think we can actually afford to pick up random opponent here and just get some extra power. We do get Marisa though. I feel like on video, every time I do random, that doesn't usually happen, but on video it happens every time. I just get the worst one. And yeah, we're really just completely out of money, so we do want to do the elites now that we picked up the extra power. We're going to the top, but the shop is not really much of an option. We're just blocking here. Okay, we're not getting attacked at all this time, so this is going to be a great opportunity to deal quite a bit of free damage. And this turn we'll focus on defense. Except, the only one we drew is the boundary. So I guess we'll focus on just killing these. So the flare up here is not only good damage, but also the weak does apply to the explosions, so we're losing our damage a bit here. And then ignition will kill both of these because I'm going to shoot here. And yeah, we're going to be taking a bit of damage, but in this combat it does tend to feel rather inevitable to take some damage at the very least. But hopefully that'll be the end of it and we won't be taking any more later. And this is a kill. Or it would have been if I didn't spend red mana, because I didn't even check what I wanted to do here. So yeah, this isn't even a chance of a kill anymore, so let's just double great luck and not take any damage. Oh, actually, with ignition it would have been. Never mind. So we are not taking any damage here, so still not the worst thing that could have happened. And Fireburst ends it. I'm already kind of feeling the bit of pain in my throat because I'm still a bit sore. And talking doesn't improve the situation a lot. One of the reasons why I didn't want to record for long. You know, Shade does technically work with statuses like indiscriminate ignition, but without status assignment, which is the card draw when you draw statuses, that seems a bit worse to me. We don't really have any mass cards for Warp Shield either, and I don't want to generate Dark Matter for no good reason. Even though, well, I guess it's not no good reason. It is something that is a status that replenishes for ignition. So I guess I can pick up a Cloak of Stars then, yeah. Maybe we'll try for slightly hybrid build, or maybe we'll just, you know, accept the free damage of ignition from the stars. Going to go ahead and okay, so this is probably going to give us an engine card for a hybrid archetype, and I don't really want to get the curse when we're not going to shop until maybe here, so we can't really remove it easily. The Creeping Hunger is very, very bad, so despite what I said earlier, I think the transformation here is the best option. And we get a crossfit, so yeah, actually a way to use the Dark Matters to generate some heat. So it does look like we'll be probably going for a hybrid-ish build at the very least. Just a bit of block. This is probably the best one here, the best upgrade. Applying the vulnerable before the vent basically upgrades the vent by 50% and makes our heat generation even more powerful. So Aya here could be a problem, but we do have our ignition, so hopefully she won't be at all. I'm gonna go ahead and Hellgeyser just to generate heat this time, and ignition. And if our venting doesn't kill her, ideally the damage over time from these two will. And I guess I'm going to go ahead and Cloak of Stars here. Considering if I wanna like do crossfeed or just start reactor, this would be I'm using boundary regardless though. This would be like 28 heat, so this takes 3 turns to activate it. It does vent too, so we'd also be losing some of the heat we have. So let's just go ahead and start reactor, yeah. In 2 turns, that is already better than doing the crossfeed here. So flare up, very helpful. Sadly we do lose our heat, but the weaken will help us eventually, and the vulnerable will help us now. Actually, maybe I can just defend only once and use the shoots to actually deal the damage. I'll be taking some damage myself, but it's like, yeah, 3 damage only. So I think it's worth it actually to take 3 damage to deal like 50 here. I'll finish the fight way faster. And yeah, we just draw a ton of status here, deal a ton of damage to her. And yeah. Next turn, she just dies on the turn, if not to status drawing, yeah. With Eviction Order and then just already kill her. Lunar Bell's very good for our turn 1 defenses, lets us set up our abilities without taking any meaningful damage. With a lot of heat generation, nuclear heat visor is very good, I think. And another start reactor would also be good, but I already have like 2 setup abilities. I'd rather not pick up a third before I have decent defense. I think the Black Horse is not like awful either. You know, 20 to 30 AoE damage if upgraded. But I do tend to prefer a lot of synergies from Utsuho, since she does build around synergies quite a bit better than just normal cards. Just pick it up quickly. If you don't look at the second option, it cannot hurt you, despite the fact that this way of going to Act 4 is not really something I enjoy. It just feels like, you know, it's just saying, oh, you don't actually get to make a meaningful choice here, just screw you, I guess. So let's go ahead and just remove some grace here. We're only taking like 3 damage thanks to the flawless anyway, and we get some setup done. In the end, we didn't even have to use our spell card for IA2, so we have, if we need it, we'll have like elite spell card and then one for Marisa. So full attack turn 2, that is very not good. Hopefully we're able to just defend ourselves well enough here though. Flare up will at the very least apply weak. This is reduced to 8, so 4 reduction. I feel like this is the best one. And I think it's going to be 4 times 2. Like 99% sure. Hope I'm not wrong. I was wrong, and I'm paying for it. Goes into extra HP basically. Still, 20 block is most of this. We're taking 12. The 12 is actually quite a lot. But still, that should be the last damage we take this combat, hopefully. This is going to die to like ignition heat. We just have to worry about the one in the back now. And yeah, this turn should just be a win without taking any more damage. Absolutely. Not really interested in a second flare up. Reckless Gamble could work though. We do have like some dark matter to pull the XL, and this is basically raw 4 for red in that case. Plus, you know, if we're drawing a lot of statuses, that just deals a lot of damage with ignition as well. Time to go ahead and take this, yeah. Upgrades to 5 cards. Upgrade isn't really like super necessary or anything, so I'm not sure we'll actually be upgrading that, but good to keep in mind. And oh yeah, we're only taking 1 damage off of this, so I guess I don't really care that much. Just gonna play these for heat generation, and we have ignition set up now for those dark residues. Okay, yeah, so we can go ahead and cloak here. Crossfade for a lot of I guess the only card that helps me here will be Flare Up anyway, so yeah, I can go ahead and crossfade just for heat generation. Reckless Gamble, and I didn't draw the Flare Up sadly, so I couldn't apply weak, so we'll be taking 5 damage here. Maybe I shouldn't have done it so I could start reactor though. Still, at this point, Flare Up is going to deal solid damage. And I'll just play the Gridlock here for 1 extra heat and Hellgeyser. And the fairy should be basically done for. Now, despite the quite huge amount of shield she just got, Crossfade is not actually good enough here, huh? How about we do everything else first, though? it is enough. And even if it wasn't, we still have end of turn damage from these, but better safe than sorry. And we just get rid of the enemy. Waste not, deep memories. I don't really think we exile enough for waste not. And it does cost, 3 mana, which isn't easy in our current situation. We're already paying for reactor and ignition. It wouldn't be the worst, like we have the dark matters and the combo, but I feel like it's not a necessity or anything. And deep memories could get me, a cheap heat visor, but that's basically about it. And I'm not super interested in that, so I'm just gonna go ahead and skip here. Most important upgrade is probably heat visor here, and after that, if we don't get anything interesting on the elite here, we could maybe just rest before Marisa rather than upgrade. We have our heat wave here though, so this should be a rather easy combat. Flare up for the vulnerable into heat wave. For the heat generation, and crossfit here is almost going to kill on its own. And yeah, we have 16 HP, vulnerable ring. We only needed a bit of damage and we did draw it, so that is already a wing here with 0 damage taken. And yeah, none of these are super interesting. Necromancy is the closest one to being interesting. But if we were playing like a salvo build, this would be really good, because it's 0 mana card that you get to play for an extra attack, and the temporary firepower adds a lot of damage to each of the salvo's attacks. But right now, I don't feel like I need any of these, so I'm just gonna skip again, and I get to just, I'll drink some tea here rather than upgrade. It's the only upgrades that would matter, like these two. And none of them are especially important anyway. So yeah, just heal up, go to Marisa, and try to get a decent combat here. Well, that's already kinda not that great of a turn one. At the very least, we do, have our Lunar Veil saving our asses. But yeah, that was a pretty awful turn one. And we don't get to play our abilities and defend ourselves on turn 2. I guess I'll be taking 4 damage here. And it's a shame to let Ignition go, but Start Reactor does deal more damage long term, I feel like. 12 heat versus like 5 damage. Obviously the 5 damage also procs on misfortunes and statuses, but she hasn't put any in our deck yet, so not something I should worry about so far. Going to waste a bit of heat to weaken her here though. And I guess I'll just go ahead and heat visor. Okay, now I can get ignition, and maybe this is the time to spell card. If I was gonna spell card, I shouldn't have spent the shot already. This could have been like 8 extra damage, but she's vulnerable. I have Hellgeyser in hand, so this feels like the time to spell card. Just 45, 84, absolutely just take away half her HP, and this should make the rest of the combat much faster to get through. Cloak of Stars here gets us Dark Matter that we can pull off the combo. And yeah, we get to weaken here into Crossfit, I guess, just to generate heat of the Matter. Because, it's not really dealing a lot of damage because we already vented with the other card, the one that plays vulnerable and weak. flare up. So just defending the spark, I guess. Only like 3 damage taking, so not bad at all. And at this point we do have quite a few statuses, which will trigger the ignition. It's rather unfortunate that we drew so many of them together. It does seem like we're going to be taking quite a hit. Playing the Hellgeyser here doesn't really feel worth it. So yeah, taking 19, going to be very low. At the very least, we do get to use Heat Visor here and Cloak. And yeah, the end of turn already kills her anyway. So, star cards don't really like, don't want to go heavier into black. So it's either Magatama or Mini Hakuro. The Magatama doesn't really help us. I'm not sure I want to just pick up Hakuro and start playing, you know, Marisa cards rather than Utsuho's. Plus they do share colors, so we're not getting a single off color off of this. And we're getting the entire Marisa pool. Yeah, let's just go Magatama, I guess. Not ideal. We don't have any cards that trigger it. But at least it's, you know, Philosopher's Mana. Yeah. Not great choices, that's for sure. So this is either Hellstorm Macaque or Artificial Sunspot. We want to go a bit heavier into like Crossfit Cloak of Stars. The Artificial Sunspot is very, very good. We want to upgrade it. 40 heat for Dark Matter. Whenever Dark Matter is played, trigger heat twice without losing any heat. Plus, you know, you already have Cloak of Stars for some extra Dark Matter. Crossfit as well. The Star Reactor. So this actually seems rather solid, honestly. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and try and do a hyper build here with this. And we'll be visiting shop because we finally have a decent chunk of money. So the issue with playing Ignition here is I don't get to play Viceroy. Oh, I do, because I had the Black Lotus, never mind. I get to just do everything, it seems. I mean, it was only like 2 damage, which is flawless, but most of her hand was defense anyway, so it doesn't really make sense to take damage for free even if for flawless for no good reason. So, and yeah, well, instead we'll be taking the damage now. We take 14 off the fairy because we drew absolutely no defense here. At the very least, the Keystone should die to Ignition next turn, so we don't have to worry about it. And this one's not attacking, so it's Reactor, Gridlock for Heat and Crossfeed. There we go. The Cloak of Stars here seems like the best option. And I could just Sunspot. So this is like 50 heat next turn. So each of these deals like 8. Could just kill her, I think. Yeah, that kills. And we just draw Flare Up instead anyway, so whatever. We do really want to upgrade the Sunspot. Going from like just triggering to triggering twice is obviously twice as good. And honestly, with the Sunspot here, I do like Whitehall actually. Adds Dark Matter to our discard pile, helps with Ignition, helps with this. Seems like we're going very solidly into hybrid terrain here. A Drowned Girl could be very, very dangerous here if we don't get what we want early on. Let's go ahead and set up our powers. Our abilities, sorry. And yeah, just crossfeed. 2 damage. Yeah, that's why some of the turn 1 defenses are like kinda whatever. She spends turn 1 debuffing anyway, and she's not the only one. No defense in our hand either, so we have to gamble here. We do draw Gridlock and Boundary. We're still going to be taking quite a bit of damage though. Guess I'll just bend here. Oh, I thought I clicked on Geyser, never mind. Well, at least it's, you know, more heat for flare up. This took 15 though. And yeah, flare up here. Let's do it last actually. Okay, so that is actually full block, and flare up here will deal. It says 30 because she's not vulnerable, but since the vulnerable applies first, it's actually dealing 45. And hopefully we'll be able to finish her off without taking any more damage. Another flare up could help. The flare up was by Surge is to get enough damage and a bit of defense. That's good enough lock, so we just hit here. And at this point, Ignition plus the heat generation we already have should finish the combat. Yeah. Took a nasty hit there, thankfully no more than that. Eternity Engine is very tempting, but you know, we've already got long Dark Matter plus heat build, so not really necessary. Same for the others. I'm just gonna skip here. Okay, we do get more Philosopher's Mana here in the event. Just gonna convert Black Mana. Don't even really have any double black anyway, and we could pay it with Philosophers if we needed to. Hopefully this will have some canned food or similar stuff. It does have first aid kit, I'm not sure that's good enough though. Considering right now another Cloak of Stars, maybe removing a Farburst. Just going a bit more defensive since we already have, you know, heat plus the Sunspot as damage. Or actually, rather than removal, the one thing I do want to do is upgrade this, so it's actually worth using. Not needlessly at this point, I'm tempted to just pick up the first aid kit. It's not a lot of healing, but it is some. And against the drones, it also removes lock-on, so it might be useful. Also against Yomu, if we do find her, you know. But yeah. Speaking of which, we don't really have anything we are willing to sell to Rinozuke here. So it looks like we're going to be out of some gold. So yeah, I'm just gonna pick up these two here. It just seems like the lowest risk option. Don't really need like an Ageless Dream here because we already have the flare-ups. And yeah, nothing else seems all that interesting. Mass Driver could have been somewhat interesting if we were heavier into pulling, but we're mostly using our Dark Matter for status building and triggering the Sunspot. Yeah, this will have to do. Definitely want to go to absolutely not taking any of these. I want both my Lunar Veil and my Black Lotus. Our turn ones are painful enough as they are, and yeah, hopefully get you know, a gap to heal up. And this one actually lets us choose whether we're facing an elite or not, so we'll know for sure after the event. Okay, we find Black Butterfly and Keystone, which is not awful or anything, but sometimes rough. And I feel like my best option here actually is going to be Ignition plus Sunspot. Just take 2 damage now, and maybe just finish the combat next turn with a ton of heat triggering. So 34, so each of these deals 12 AoE damage. Doesn't finish the combat, but it's actually kind of close. Actually, with Crossfade it might. Let's go ahead and Crossfade here. Even more Dark Matter, go to 57. Yeah, this is a lot of damage here. So yeah, that was rather quick, that's for sure. And we'll go to the event and, you know, probably just heal on one of the gaps. I think we might be able to go to an elite, but we'll see now. Not interested in any of these. However, Starlight does seem kind of appealing, plus the upgrade does give us very better than block. So maybe we'll manage to upgrade it at some point. It's not like we really have any other upgrades that are urgent or anything, so that sounds good too. And obviously it's, you know, heat and dark matter. It goes perfectly with crossfit and sunspot. Not interested in this right now, and I don't have that much money to waste. And yeah, I think I can go to a boss if I'm healing. I mean to an elite if I'm healing. I do have my spell card. And I have the medkit. So, not the worst things ever. Yeah, let's go ahead and do a bit more of what we did last time. Set up sunspot, set up reactor, and just try and at the very least clear up the masks next turn. Take no damage, or at least take only 1 damage really, because of the lunar veil. Yeah, this turn we get to just clear the masks. We're gonna be able to block her with this Cloak of Stars, so I feel like I can... Actually, CrossFit could have been good. I did have enough, it still can actually. There's like 4 of them, so I'm dealing a lot of damage, generating a lot of dark matter, and getting a lot of heat. So yeah, this all seems good here. In fact... $75? That's just skills, yeah. Extremely solid setup, and that was an extremely fast kill on... God, what was the name? Kokoro. Jeez. Kind of unexpected, honestly, but certainly not unwelcome. Space Scanner. I'm not really, like, looking super hard for specific cards, I feel like. Once I set up my abilities, I'm just basically waiting to generate enough heat to have the dark matter in the fight. So I don't think Space Scanner is necessary. Maybe we could get, you know, another cloak. With Sunspot it's extra offense on top of the already 15 block defense it gives. And if I'm not removing that many basics, maybe having better non-basics just helps. Yeah, let's go ahead and pick up cloak here. Probably not gonna pick any extra copies, that's already the 3rd cloak. That's probably good enough. Don't want to overload on dark matter either and end up, you know, just drawing a handful of dark matter on Reimu and, you know, die suddenly. For those who don't have context to my damn comment right now, it's basically my shortest video so far. It was a Black Utsuho run where I drew like 5 dark matters in a row while having 7 in the deck against Reimu. Hand clogged myself and just died. I think I am going to go to a... I'm not sure I want to go to a shop honestly, and the Soul Gem does help. Just go Gap Elite, Gap Jujiko. And I'm probably gonna have to rest in some of the gaps because Jujiko's got her debuff, so yeah. Get Soul Gem here. I'll have to do double combat if I want to go to the gap, but I feel like it's necessary, so let's just go ahead. Worst case, we do have one of our spell cards available, so yeah. Probably not going to use the first aid kit here. Who's our boss, by the way? Oh yeah, I just talked about how I use Jujiko. Yeah, against Jujiko I can't actually heal, so maybe I will use the first aid kit. At least 1, and then if I need it on the 2nd combat I'll have it, if not I'll probably use it on the elite just for the extra healing. Now this turn, however, we can actually go ahead and block some of the damage. It's not like we were going to take a lot, you know, but better 0 than like 3. And I feel like we're taking 1 anyway. Yeah, this is going to deal 3, which gets reduced by the flawless. Okay, so Starlight here is like block, which I want, but it's also like 2 of my 3 colored mana. Does seem like it's going to be Gridlock plus Starlight into CrossFit though. Ignoring Start Reactor, I guess, which is a shame, but probably necessary. That is a lot of heat. I'm going to generate off of Crossfeed. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These two are being discarded. And I don't have anything here that blemishes, so I guess it's fine if I don't exile anything. But just in case, I'm going to exile one of them. Very close to killing the bottom drone, sadly. Didn't get there. 12. And hopefully that'll be the last damage I'm taking. So this is not drawing a lot, because my hand is pretty full. I can actually just go ahead and exile a couple of Dark Matters, so I can gamble, because defense is like kind of useless right now. And I exiled another Dark Matter of the gamble. And I could either just heat to instantly, vent to instantly get the Kappa, or play Ignition, which is not going to be very useful in my opinion. However, next turn I have Sunspot, so I do want to keep my heat, I feel like. Because that means I can go Sunspot into just playing 2 Dark Matters and killing most of the enemies, if not all of them. So I'd rather just play Ignition and Boundary to generate a bit more heat as well. And yeah, next turn Sunspot should be good enough, hopefully. Well, not for this one, that's for sure. However, I did draw Cloak. I have 16 damage for each of these. Or I could just Cloak plus Gridlock to take no damage. And Hellgeyser. Actually, if I Hellgeyser, this just kills, doesn't it? No, not because of the shield. God damn it. Yeah, I'm so close to having something good here on each front, but none of them does it. Actually, this is 40 extra heat, so it would be like 32 each. This is 66. This would survive, I'm pretty sure. I'd be taking 10. I guess the only way I just don't take any damage for free here is this. And I'll just go ahead and get rid of at least one of the enemies, I guess. Yeah, not ideal, not what I wanted to do at all, but I feel like that was the best play I had available with the mana I had in that order, basically. And thank God for the Philosopher's mana, because that was like full Purify. Not that it matters with them doing almost nothing and me drawing a bunch of Dark Matter. Oh, only one actually, never mind. I just retained too much, I guess. Yeah. Nuclear Heat Visor here protects me. And let's just get rid of some of this Dark Matter. And yeah, next turn Ignition will kill the bottom one, so I'm safe from that one. Just have to defend from the top. Campbell, I have double Gridlock if necessary. And it is necessary, it seems. And this is event, should deal some damage. Sadly, immune to both vulnerable and weak. Yeah, I've been drawing a lot of Dark Matter from the White Hole, I'm guessing. I didn't take that into account earlier. Yeah, Starlight here for Dark Matter and Heat. Makes Crossfeed generate a ton of heat, which makes Hellgeyser just kill. And thankfully we are out of here without too much damage. Black Hole isn't bad, but I do take quite a while to actually get the Dark Matter rolling. So it would discard quite a few cards early on. It's way too risky, I think. Sadly, I'm not going to be able to use it. which means I'm not really interested in any of these, and I'm just skipping. Second combat, more drones and more kappas. This is not a bad start though, I would say. Crossfade is going to generate a decent chunk of heat. And funny enough, I think Sunspot now just kills. So this would be 40 extra heat. So this goes to 76. And that is 15, 30, 60? Yeah, this should do it. Is this only attack damage? Yeah, only attack damage. So I'm pretty sure this does it. Triggers twice, 30 each. Triggers twice, 30 each. Yep. That was easy. Thankfully. Not picking any of these up. Already have one flare up, and that's good enough, I feel like. Plus, at this point, I don't really want to vent as much as just play Dark Matter after Sunspot. And yeah, absolutely coming here to heal, so I don't just die to Yuriko. And hopefully Nitori here won't be a big issue. Okay, this is quite the hand. Gonna use the first aid key just to heal. So that ended up being like 50 gold for 10 HP heal. I was kind of desperate when I bought it, so whatever. And yeah, just Starlight. Sunspot. Crossfit should be absolutely huge now. 84 heat. And funny enough, this is actually the optimal hand to have next turn in a way. Let's just deal a bunch of damage to Nitori already. Make sure she dies next turn. And have enough Dark Matter to also kill the drone. So each Dark Matter here is 28 damage. So 7 of them definitely kill. So goodbye Nitori. Goodbye drone. Did not expect to actually burst down Nitori like this. But it's definitely very satisfying. Huge Spoon is not something I'm going to get a lot of use out of, but you know, whatever. Turn the engine, same as the other one, kind of interesting, but also not for a deck. Re-upgraded engine is actually really good, it's absolutely awful for our deck. This is where we're using the Dark Matter for damage. Didn't really expect that I'd actually be doing a heat build, except it's actually, you know, a good hybrid build. Because this is still definitely heat focused, but not in the way I thought I was going to do it. And yeah, let's go ahead and upgrade Starlight here. Very useful to have, just so our defense is useful even on we're not being attacked. And that way, when we break like a turn after, because we drew too many Dark Matters, we won't be dying just, you know, out of nowhere. So double cloak here seems okay. Maybe we'll have to get rid of like 1 or 2 of the Dark Matters. But this is at the very least most of the block we need. Flare up for the weak and vulnerable. Yuriko should help. And I guess with so much mana, we didn't really have to worry. But yeah, I'm going to exile a couple of Dark Matters. Absolute massive amount of block. And yeah, this is basically Sunspot waiting room, and here it is. So the thing is, if I do this, I am taking the 8 from RNGFix. Like if I do Sunspot and double Dark Matter. And if I don't, I'm getting attacked for like 30, so I feel like sacking a bit of HP here is the right choice. With 45 heat, each of these would be... it's not good enough. Let's go ahead and just Falkar here. Go to 75, which is definitely good enough. Get rid of the spirits, the death butterflies, and go next turn. Okay, we do take some damage with D8 and now Law of Mortality, but as long as we finish her before we go below half HP, we should be entirely fine. Since we'll, heal half of it after we beat the boss. Yeah. Starlight here into just a bunch of dark matters. For damage, each of these is like 34, so absolutely great to see. And in fact, let's just go ahead and do more. Maybe I should have played the boundary first for some extra heat, but whatever. And 74 heat is actually quite a lot, so any dark matter, any vent, just anything pretty much kills Yuriko here. This is being extremely solid and I'm pretty happy about it. Honestly, with already having this much Philosopher's Mana of the Magatama and the event, this doesn't even feel bad, the stone. Kansas Medicines is another good one though. I don't really remember what the green cards were though, but since we already have like pretty much a perfect deck for what we want, I feel like I just want to go for small incremental upgrades, not take any dumb risks or anything. And this just seems solid, being able to save mana for future turns if we need to. I'm just gonna pick this up and go for the easy path. Well, Embrace the Darkness could be solid, except, it could also screw us, but just this alone is like if I have Embrace, obviously I need to upgrade it, but if I have Embrace up and I play this, 40 heat is like 5, it's 5 hit for 1 damage, so that is 8, 16 for each dark matter. So playing this would be like 64 AoE damage already, just with 0 other investment if it's up. It's honestly very tempting. Thing is, I don't really have a way to generate block for something like Seija of attacks or skills. Maybe the white hole. Maybe that's what I do. I kill Seija with his heat and generating dark matters. I'll have to look for something that generates dark matters, like a gravity well or something, ideally though. But yeah, this is really good. Ah, fuck it, I'm doing it. You can't stop me. Can't stop me from dreaming. Okay, so we do have shop options for both elite and non-elite here, which means I don't want to go to a shop at 1-1 because I want to save my money for Sumirako. So I'm going to go ahead, just do the bottom path, get a gap, upgrade the Embrace, not have to think too hard or face the difficult combats. Gridlock here for the Speedster, into another, into some barrier to protect myself from the crow and to keep some barrier for later, plus the dark matter. Already have 20 heat, Sunspot here would be good, but then again, when isn't it lately? I have to reckless gamble here. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and Embrace. Get the cloak. And yeah, just try and... I could crossfeed here, but is it even worth it? Don't deal any damage, generate like 1 dark matter. No, 3 dark matters, gain a bunch of heat. I'd rather just take no damage right now. Yeah, the Embrace the Darkness isn't, exactly perfect for dark matters this early on. But it'll be fine. Block of Stars blocks that. Ignition into a second cloak. And just keep blocking, and next turn we're guaranteed to have the Sunspot. These are going to be discarded. Yeah, let's go ahead and just take away, I don't know, Sungrace, I guess. Not really anything important here that we can do with the rest of our turn. We're gonna want to start with The heat visor. Oh, we draw too many boom boom arrows. So what I'm going to do here is actually going to be a flare up, I think, so I can reduce damage. It's a shame, but I feel like that's our best option. Yeah, the boom boom arrows kind of fucked me. I was intending to draw like 1 mana heat visor. And yeah, let's just weaken her. Also reduces the damage from this to 11 instead of 15. And I guess we'll just Sunspot now and deal as much damage as we can. And value whether this is worth spell carding, honestly. I'm spell carding for 11 HP basically, because I'm going to get 5 off of this. Next turn I'm guaranteed heat visor, so it is definitely just 11 HP. Won't be taking any other damage. I guess I'll just take it. It's a bit sad, but whatever. Yeah, heat visor here is guaranteed to block enough, but we already drew enough statuses to kill her off the ignition anyway, so whatever. Sunlight is not the worst. We are a bit tight on mana with like Sunspot and stuff, so that could help us, you know, generate mana and let's play more Dark Matters instead of relying only on Embrace. Issue being, if I have Sunspot on my draw pile, I'll be too scared to play this pretty much the entire fight, so I'm not gonna bother. Cadente. Don't want the money, even though, you know, the curses do give us a ton of HP from the Huge Spoon. I do play way too many cards for that to be a good option. Random group of enemies could be good, but could also screw us, and same for the Breath of the Whale. We do have, you know, Black Lotus on our turn 1 though, so that might not be quite as bad as it usually would. Actually, might even be good. Like, our turn 1 already has a ton of mana thanks to the Lotus and often the Solium and stuff. Maybe it's good. We get to remove Far Burst. Don't have to fight a random group of enemies to risk our lives. This actually looks like a good Breath of the Whale situation, not even joking. It's always the issue with Long Night though, we actually have 3 less mana than we think. Ah, screw it, I'll just do the random fight. I hope I don't regret this. It is the bunnies, which shouldn't be a huge issue. This ignition is going to be relatively solid. Heat is always going to be dealing damage every turn, and Sunspot also gives us like 2 AoE damage for each Dark Matter we play, so let's start with healing here. I think we can defend ourselves well enough without the barrier. And I feel like this is just Sunspot plus Ignition, honestly. So let's go ahead and do it. I'm only taking 3 damage off of their attacks anyway. There we go. Yeah, we'll be upgrading at the god. Oh, I still have one more fight to do. I guess I'll go ahead and Embrace Darkness, just as a setup for the future. Yeah, now the Dark Matter here is like 2 damage ticks on all of my enemies and all the bunnies. So if we play like 10 of those, the fight is already over. This is 32, so let's go one more. I guess I'm taking 2 damage I didn't need to take, but whatever. And just our Dark Matter into Cloak of Stars, and the other Dark Matters, and this just kills. So yeah, not a hard combat at all, thankfully. Took like 2 damage. And I might have taken some turn 1, I didn't really know, don't really remember. Wasn't paying that much attention. Broken Amulet is solid, 1 Spirit, 1 Firepower. It's not like specially good, because we don't use Firepower all that well. But the Spirit should help us, you know, defend ourselves a bit better. And if we end up getting any random curses, it could still give us a bit more. Not super happy about fighting this. Our mana's kinda tight, so spending it on love letters isn't something we want. But at the very least, we could, like, if we got the ignition early, we might actually get some free damage off of it and stuff. For now though, let's just go ahead and generate some heat and matter. And have the flawless be our protection. And take 1 damage there. So Starlight for barrier, just double gridlock. Don't really want any more dark matter than I already have, I feel like. Didn't really progress the combat this turn, but whatever. At least I got some barrier. Okay, love letter, reactor, cloak. Sell one of these, don't want to draw too much later. I'm accumulating a lot of heat, but the love letters seem to be at the bottom on them. Issue is they came like as a pair here, but well, I can at least still play one at the very least while playing the heat visor. And hopefully I'll draw the next one next turn, and we'll have like 2 turns to actually deal with her. That's very rough on our HP. Not getting anything at all here. Starting with the damage at the very least. So yeah, taking the 19. Am I seriously gonna have to heal here rather than upgrade? That just feels like it's the worst move regardless, honestly. Like I really don't feel like I can heal here. I'd just be screwing myself in a different way. Not really any less, just differently. So go ahead and embrace. Shame we had embrace so late, because that would have let us play the love letters for free, almost. For very cheap, shall we say. Still, she's almost done, and next turn she's not attacking, but I don't really care if she's not attacking, I really just do want her down here. Even though, you know, regret wouldn't be the worst thing ever, because I have huge spoon and broken amulet. But I'd still rather not reduce the consistency of my deck for no good reason. So I'll be killing her here. Not interested in any of these still. 28 HP doesn't really make me happy, but I feel like it's necessary. Could be like only 1 combat here before the shop, and then if we don't find healing items here, we can just go to the enemy rather than the elite. But I do really feel like the Embrace the Darkness upgrade is just way too vital. So I'm going to go ahead and pick it up. But I am worried, I'll admit I'm worried. I hope it doesn't bite me in the ass. Absolutely not trading Sunspot, but maybe I'm taking one of these. I'm too long life for Grimoire right now, otherwise I'd probably take it. It's a very, very good card. Not interested in Fire of Aina, despite the triple filler in my mana base. Because, you know, it's rather slow, and if I want to do slow AoE damage, Sunspot's going to do it much better. Reaction Dive could be good, but the tripling does mean we vent immediately right after as well. And I have to set up block first too, because of the extra damage that I take off of playing that. Yeah, the nuclear reaction dive seems like the only viable option, and I'm not sure I like it all that much. So I think I'd rather just, you know, do neither here, just ignore her. Keep my money. The icon could actually be rather helpful for life gain. And yeah, we're going to the shop and praying. Oh god, this could be very, very bad. I feel like I'm actually just spellcarding this. No thoughts, just spellcard here. Into, well, I'll use the cloak first to generate some more heat. But I'm definitely playing Flare up here. And yeah, she's very low already. Hopefully I'm not going to get screwed here, because the Fox Yokai can be very dangerous. And that will be enough Dark Matter, I feel like, and I get to keep all my mana for next turn. Okay, so this was pretty awful as far as draws go, but at the very least I did get Heat Visor, which lets me full block on its own. But I am getting more and more poisoned, so I might actually have to spend a second card if I don't draw something that ends the combat next turn. As my HP keeps going down and down, guaranteed. The Sunspot does seem like it will end the combat. I can only play 3 cards, except the skills, which means I can play another. I could have killed even through the charm, I guess. But yeah, that was a bit risky. Instant reaction isn't the worst thing ever, but don't really want any more setup. My setup's already very strong. I'd rather get payoffs like crossfeed or just enablers like card draw or defense or something that removes my goddamn basics. But I feel like my deck's already good as is. I don't need a maintain reaction to generate more heat. Well, that's another skip, I guess. Okay. This could be a huge save. At this point, the ignition isn't that amazing, so maybe we just give her that. Yeah, I like my rares way too much. Sunspot and Embrace the Darkness are not leaving my deck. No fucking chance. I could just remove a basic, but that only heals me for 1, and I do want the heal, honestly. So it's either like... It has to be the ignition, doesn't it? It's the only uncommon I don't really care for much. Start Reactor, Heat Visor, Reckless Gamble are all better than the ignition, I feel like. Yeah, it is ignition. And this will be like 5 extra max HP and the 30% HP heal, which, you know, saves me kinda hard. Actually allows me to survive even if I don't get any healing at the shop. Yeah, 49 HP is a lot more safe. And we do get canned food here anyway. I'm going to take it. Gravity Well here is very solid, and I might honestly just upgrade it off the card service. However, oh, Crimson Energy with Broken Amulet's so good too. This is like 10-10 just off of a single buff from Broken Amulet. So yeah, I like these two. The thing is, I'd want to upgrade them both, but I also want to remove cards. So I still have, you know, 8 of my basics. I guess the defense aren't like completely atrocious thanks to the Broken Amulet, and I'm not using that often anyway. So I can afford to get these two and upgrade one of them. Is it the best play? I think it is, and if I'm going to upgrade one, it's going to be the Gravity Well for sure. But yeah, I think this is the best play here. The Crimson Energy release is just insanely good with Broken Amulet, because it double scales on both Spirit and Firepower. And yeah, let's upgrade the Gravity Well. Goes down to only 2 mana rather than 1 black, which is pretty hard to cast, and gives me 5 Barrier and Dark Matter every turn. So yeah, this is easily the best choice, I'm pretty sure. And I feel like... Okay, I'm confident enough for the Elite, but is there a forced one here? Kinda? Not really, but it is triple combat if I don't do the forced Elite. I mean, if I don't do an Elite. And it is a shop force, no gap. I think I'm just going to skip an Elite here. I feel like it's risking for no good reason. I'd just rather do a normal fight. I'm already like pretty strong. I tend to do more Elites than I need to, so probably a good decision to stop now and go to do other things here. So, Clock of Stars. Gain some energy. And I guess I'll play Dark Matter just for the long night. And I'm taking no damage. Only 4 barrier left, but it's better than taking like 2 damage for no reason. 2 damage isn't a lot, it's just I had no reason to take it there. Canned food to heal up. I do look like I'm going to be taking quite a bit of damage this turn though. Can't help that, it feels like. Should I get the Scouter or one of the Terminators? Actually, is this enough damage with the spell card? Is it worth using here? That is like 31, 37. Yeah, that seems like it's good enough. Let's go ahead and do this. That's like 30 HP I'm saving, so yeah, absolutely worth it. And yeah, shoot into crossfeed is a kill. And with the boundary here, I'm taking only 4 damage off of this. But this is definitely way too much Dark Matter though, so I'm gonna exile 1, keep 5, because this one is discarding. And hopefully that'll be fine. Seems fine, at the very least, so far. So yeah, just focus on blocking, boundary, gravity well, starlight, and I guess this flare up kill here. 44, 64. Am I seriously? I'm 1 off if I play Dark Matter first to generate an extra hit. God damn it. And yeah, I have nothing that helps me here. That's such a shame. I guess I'll just start reactor then. I'll be taking like 20 damage here, approximately. 18? 16. Embrace into Sunspot though is just a kill here, just by playing all my Dark Matters with 100 heat. Quantum Dissonance does let me use the Dark Matters for value before I get the Sunspot, and at this point I am looking for specific cards, which is Sunspot and Embrace the Darkness. So it doesn't look like the worst idea ever, that's for sure. It does also cost 0, which is, you know, definitely the cheapest setup covered card I have. So maybe I'll just go for it. I really don't want to reduce my consistency, but on the long term that increases it rather than reduces it. It's just that it's only on the long term. It's probably not great against Seija, and it's probably bad against Remy as well, because I don't want to be spending Dark Matter without dealing damage, I guess. I'll skip. I'm really not sure about not picking this, but I think I'll just skip here. What are you giving me, Raisin? Pagoda would have been great, except, you know, it's way too late. At most, I could fill it up. Actually, how am I doing on HP? Pretty good. Maybe it is Pagoda. It's like 1, 2, and then the third one on the Act 4. Do I need some upgrades? I don't really need upgrades other than like energy release, which could get upgraded on the Act 4 shop. And the firepower also gives me, you know, scaling on this. On the other hand, Chronicle is healing with Darkness and Sunspot. And also, you know, Gravity Well. Any others? No. Oh, the Star Reactor. But I already have canned food and I'm doing decently on HP. I might not feel it entirely if I have to upgrade something important, but I feel like I can actually afford to do the pagoda here. Not like I have a ton of money for shops anyway. So I guess, yeah, that's the choice. Going here. Force delete if I want to go to the GUP. And I do. Okay, so do I want any of the Tengu tools? I don't feel like I need the healing when I already have canned food here. The full draw could be good, but it also gives me like a misfortune that I won't be able to really remove. I don't want the money, that's for sure. And I don't care about my spell card all that much, so I probably wouldn't answer the first question. I guess I'll just refuse here. Yeah, no, not interested in any of the options for Harada here. I'll just be thankful I had a node where I didn't have to fight. So Suwako here, plus Kaneko could be a very dangerous combat. Hopefully it won't be though. This is 28. Maybe I can, yeah, I think I can keep some barrier maybe. I'm definitely going for Suwako though, that's non-negotiable. Oh, that only gives me barrier, not barrier and block, so I guess there's no chance, huh? Oh, I'll keep like 3, I guess. Yeah, not awful. Yeah, obviously, if she gets rid, yeah, Gravity Well for start. If she also gets rid of my Sunspot, I'm going to be in a very, very shady position. Let's go ahead and pick up Confit here. Cloak of Stars into CrossFit for massive heat generation. Yeah, 57 is very good. And I'll just go ahead and keep blocking. You know, if only Dark Matter actually got prioritized by the Jinxes. It doesn't, by the way, this was pure chance. I did have 4 of them. Yeah, I mentioned it to to Zozit, the death of Utsuho as a joke. Yeah, not happening, obviously. Let's just go ahead and full block or get as close as I can. I didn't really calculate it, I just know the mana I have is pretty much spoken for. And at this point, it's basically, am I going to get completely fucked by Artificial Sunspot Exile, or do I get to play the game? And I get to play the game. So this into triple Dark Matter should kill probably like Sueko and 2 of these. I'll take 34, Jesus Christ. But yeah, doesn't seem like I have a better option anyway, so... This... And the 1, and the 2... And the 3. Actually, maybe the heat finishes her off? Yeah, I believe it does. Let's go. Actually, barely took damage there. That could have been like 30 HP less, like with a tiny change. Is waste not good enough at this point of the game? I mean, playing Dark Matters and exiling for even more heat, it just feels really, really good. I'm not sure it's good enough, but it's definitely good. God damn it. Really can't decide here. I guess I'm going to need all the scaling I can against Asia. And this also makes me a bit stronger on... Like, makes the rest of my card plays more efficient against Remy. I guess I'll pick it up. So which upgrade was I looking for? Probably, yeah, Crimson Energy. Might actually end up upgrading Waste Not instead. We'll see. For now though, this is definitely a collection. Lose the cream, sadly. And get to the elite. Ikishiki. Oh, it's implemented, isn't it? Is it about to happen? Am I gonna have it on video? Oh boy, here it is! Utsuho boss fight, ladies and gentlemen! Surprise! So yeah, the modded character boss fights have been a relatively recent development that has been going on in the LVOL modding community. And I didn't really plan for this, but I'm happy it's here, honestly. So here you have it, Utsuho Yuji on Eikishiki. Oh boy, here goes nothing. I have no fucking clue what she does here. Oh god. So let's start with the setup, obviously. This is 5 barrier, 6 block. If I weaken her, how hard is she hitting? 13. So I'm not really saving any HP, but I guess there's no point in not using it anyway. I have no idea what Utsuho does, so I think I am going to prioritize her, despite putting vulnerable here, just because I did this for the weak, not the vulnerable. So she also gains heat, so I guess that's something I have to take into account. And she's aggregating, which means she's dealing damage, gaining block, and gaining heat. If you remember that card from when we use it. Oh boy. Yeah, the heat damage should definitely be enough on the long term. So I'm not really scared of using the Embrace the Darkness here. This isn't going to last anywhere near as long as the boss or Seija. Yeah, as you can see, she is actually hitting us with heat. Let's go ahead and get rid of some of this, so I can gamble and possibly draw. Yep, sunspots here. So let's do the other defense to open up our hand a bit. Play the sunspot. And before I start playing Dark Matters, I'm going to go ahead and just exile as much as I can for more waste not heat. And I'm sorry, Utsuho, it seems like we're not going to see what you do, because I'm definitely ending the combat here. Okay, I have enough block. Maybe like one turn. This is all retaining. I'm keeping a ton of heat. Oh no, I already dealt too much damage, so the heat would kill them anyway. Yeah, sorry Utsuho, I'm not seeing your boss fight today. If you're interested, if you wanna fight Utsuho, get the Utsuho exhibits. The red one's not that amazing if you don't have heat, but the black one's pretty good. Yeah, you just install the mod, just play around as any other character, and she'll appear on the boss selection. And yeah, I had not planned for this, and I'm actually kinda glad it happened. So with my my spirit, Whitehall is blocking for 6 rather than 5. Or maybe it's Warp Shield. No, because Whitehall does give me like a long-term plan against Seija. Since I'm going to have to ration my block quite hard. I can't really exile my block early on against Seija. I might just die. So Embrace the Darkness is probably gonna have to wait for quite a while. So yeah, the second Whitehall feels like it helps with that plan. And yeah, we're definitely strong enough to collect again. And if I upgrade the waste node, it'll probably be on the Act 4 shop. So yeah, collect again. Go for Amelia here. Thankfully we can just completely ignore her grace. So we just focus on setting up for ourselves. Our starting hand is pretty easy, we just play all our cards and that's about it. Don't really have to worry about the limit, and we do have our flawless thankfully. We're losing all our barrier because of her attack, but you know, at the very least we didn't take any damage. And Crimson plus Cloak here, seems good. Yeah, that is good enough for blocking already. I'll get rid of some of the Dark Matter, because otherwise, only playing 5 cards a turn, it might accumulate a bit too fast for me. Do want Sunspot as soon as possible though, that's for sure. Okay, so here's Sunspot, here's Waste Not, so... And I have exactly enough mana to do both of those, and spend 3 Dark Matters, and that will be 5 cards played, so that's kinda perfect. and the 1, and the 2, and the 3. And I honestly want to save double spell card if I can for Sage, so I can actually super scale the amount of heat I have very quickly. So otherwise I'm worried Sage might actually just outscale me in a way. Here I can probably just activate Rage mode, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's already good enough. And only 1 card play left, so I guess CrossFit doesn't really... Oh, CrossFit gives me a ton of dark matter. I think fills my hand entirely, but I do lose all my heat though if I do that, so not gonna happen. I guess I'll just remove 1 Grace, just in case I end up eventually venting to kill her. Doubt it'll be this turn though, because she does get the Flawless on top of everything else. And at this point Embrace is fine. Just get my Dark Matter for next turn, get my block, deal 2 damage, just for funsies. Yeah, this should be, if not over, almost over on this turn. Yeah, I can just Dark Matter, Dark Matter, Dark Matter. Leaves her extremely low. And I feel like, yeah, Cloak of Stars. This is like 60 damage, and then the end of turn heat will finish her off. And that is Remilly out. That was pretty fast for having used no spell card. Really happy to see that. I think we can actually get Sage most likely. Fragments of the World is... yeah, the other 2 are like complete dog shit. Fragments of the World here lets me turn like 2 attacks into something I might actually use, I think. It's the obvious pick. Oh, Sunlight Reverie is probably not gonna see a lot of use for the reasons I mentioned, where I don't want to exile my actually good cards. But Crow Who Stole the Sun here. Like, once I have enough exiled dark matter, I can play this, remove all the dark matter from my exile, because Battlefield includes the exile, and then just gain inhuman heat and use this for new dark matter. Like, play more dark matter for all the heat I just generated. Yeah, that sounds really good, really cool, really good. So Orbit, Reclusive Sage, Blade of Armor. Oh right, because the single blue, because I have 3 Philosopher, unlocks the triple blue cards. Honestly, the False Moons could actually just give me a ton of stuff. I think, because like, a Blade of Armor is also sick. Orbit is probably kind of irrelevant, I don't really have anything that pulls. All of my mass stuff is for like dark matter. It's either ablative or reclusive. The thing about Sage is that, you know, it gives me a way to use my defense cards and stuff with Embrace the Darkness without losing them. But ablative armor is obviously just a massive source of better, even more if I upgrade it. And honestly, even just early block. Yeah, both of them are very good, and I'm not sure which one I want to use. I'm definitely picking up one of the 2 though. Honestly, with Crimson Energy Release, like, that could already be pretty good. Just copy and release and have that be my block engine. Like, if I can just... let's ignore I have the shoot here. If I exile my entire library other than attacks, I have like 1, 2, 3... and yeah, I could just have a Crimson Energy Release every turn, with the White Holes also giving me block. That seems like the best option, honestly. Blade of Armor is very good, but I'll probably like exile it eventually with the Embrace of Darkness. And it's a relatively slow option, and for the long game, I'm pretty sure I'm going to win on my own anyway. Yeah, gonna pick up Reclusive Sage here, just so I have a way out if I accidentally screw myself by playing Embrace too early. Oh boy, this is permanent firepower and spirit. For like 5 mana. God, that's tempting. That just makes the plan pretty much like... Because right now I have 2, 3, 4... If I buy this and upgrade it, it would be like 12 more. So 16. Each energy release would be like 48 block. That just sounds sick, honestly. And I do have the mana. And I get to show off Kicker, which is, you know, something that hasn't really seen a lot of play yet, because it was, from what I hear, it was decently hard to code considering how simple the effect is supposed to be. And I get to show off the skills of our modders. It's great, yeah, I'm picking up coolant, upgrading coolant. And I have 30 gold, which I'm actually just going to ignore getting 1 more in the pagoda, because like, what is 1 more compared to 12 of this for energy release? Or even better, like, copy this with Sage and just go completely insane. But yeah, I'm going to just upgrade here, and I don't really have card draw, so I feel like, oh, I forgot this. This is always a theory living after upgrading, so I need to play this as soon as I try it regardless. But yeah, I feel like I should just probably upgrade Waste Not here. Or maybe even just Crow or Energy Release. Some of the defense maybe. Not really sure. Yeah, I think it's just Energy Release, make it easier to use. No, because I'm not really gonna use it. Like, I'm gonna copy it with the Sage, most likely, so I don't have to worry about exiling it. I guess I'll do Waste Not. Seems like the way to actually scale faster than Sage. And yeah, let's go ahead. Oh, that is very, very good. Got Embrace the Darkness turn 1. And with that, I can pretty much just go off already. Starlight, let's do Crimson Energy for some extra block. Flare up, applies weak and vulnerable, and that means I can just hit wave now. Get her below 900 as soon as possible. Gamble cost 0, I exile one of Dark Matters, and I find the Sage already. So yeah, that is pretty much all I need to do at this point. I already played the Sage. I don't think I have to ratio my block. I'm going to... This is a bit risky, but I'm gonna go ahead and just exile all of my deck. She takes my exhibits. I don't really think I care. I honestly didn't even notice what item she had chosen, but don't think it matters. Oh yeah, Gridlock here. Just kind of wasting a bit of time, I'll admit, but oh well. Do I have any Dark Mattering here or anything with mass? Absolutely not. Then there is 0 chance I'm using the Reverie here. And let's go ahead and exile some of this Dark Matter. Don't wanna end up overdrawing too much. This one I'm retaining, and this one I'll just discard. Start Reactor. More spell card while she's still vulnerable, just so I can get more heat. I do at least get to keep my massive amount of mana, but don't really think I need mana at this point with what I'm doing here. Okay, so here's the question. Do I just coolant now? Or do I wait until I can copy it with False Moon? I am going to exile most of my deck, but I'm kind of in a rush, I feel like. to finish this. She scales faster than me, I believe. We vent here. Oh, I have plenty of heat sources from waste not in Crow stole this, I think, so I'm just going to go for the damage here. This is going to discard non-defense cards, so sadly it is going to discard the white hole as well. But yeah, I'm going to... Okay, so for kicker, I do have to pull my mana first. Yeah, I have to pull 3 mana and then 1 blue and 1 red. There we go. And... okay, the previous probably... yeah, the previous not implemented. Probably way too hard to implement it, considering how kicker was coded. Yeah. Supposedly, this will consume all the mana I have pulled and give me 6 firepower, here's 6 spirit. It worked perfectly, and I'll just get my dark matter next turn. Keep getting more barrier from the gravity well. I need the sunspot absolutely right now though. And of course it is at the bottom of my deck. And I'll be able to play it on round 5. God damn it. So I'm going to play my turn thing. Not gonna be very relevant, but just in case. False Moon, waste not. Either way, False Moon the Visor. Let's boundary first to conserve some barrier. Or do I just play the Visor and False Moon like crossfeed? I feel like just saving the Visor for later is completely fine. I'll just copy it now. I should have played Waste Not earlier though, the copy. And now yeah, play the copy of the Visor. Play the crossfade. Get a completely full Heart of Dark Matter, but I do want to draw these cards this time though, so let's go ahead and just keep like 4, I guess. Yeah, 4 seems like good enough. 6 times 8, 48. I'd rather just... yeah, I might regret this, but I did kind of want to keep barrier and not take damage. Forgot about the gravity well, so I accidentally played around the gravity well, but you know. Except the false moons have replenished an ethereal, and I didn't draw like literally bottom 2. Come on now. Obviously, I made a mistake. Don't get me wrong. I should have played more of my dark matters, but this just feels like a kick in the dick. Fine, I guess. I'll just false moon the boundary. And I can only do it once because it's a copy. I mean, it exiles, so the false moon makes it a copy. I guess I'll just... if this gives us ethereal as well, right? Yeah. So let's just copy the shit, I guess. Yeah, I'm discarding most of these, so I'm guaranteed to actually draw all the cards I wanted next turn. But I kinda screwed myself quite hard here. So let's hope I get my defense. And let's hope that the item she pulls out here doesn't completely screw me over. Yeah, I got all 0 of my defense apparently. How much dark matter is in here? Not enough yet, I'd say. It's already exiled. I'm a goddamn fucking idiot. I forgot about that. I hope I don't... I hope I haven't killed myself right now. If I lose this, I'm gonna be so fucking sad. But at the very least, I can guarantee that she dies in 2 turns. So Sunspot, 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 and just Dark Matter. And one last Dark Matter. Okay, that should do it. That's the damage cap, and yeah, I have absolutely no defense here. So I'm basically hoping she doesn't kill me one hit here. She gets the winged key. Why does the fucking game hate me so much? Okay, the white holes are giving me it. Let's just... If I do nothing else, I'll at least have the most possible block I have. I don't think it's good enough to survive. I'm not gonna calculate it. I tried extremely hard to fuck myself over, and the game just made it very easy for me. So like this is 24 block plus 5 barrier. So like plus 3, that is 35 plus 50, 85 effective HP. Sometimes is 56, so this is over 100 damage. Because obviously I'm absolutely dead. I'm just gonna restart just to show off the kill, but yeah, that was a loss. That was basically a fucking loss because I'm a goddamn moron. I'm just gonna show off how someone who's not complete idiot would actually win this. And yeah, someone who's not a complete fucking idiot would not excel their one way to block Seiya permanently by playing it after the Embrace the Darkness when I already have fucking Flawless. And now, this is actually completely fine. Yeah, at this point, I have actually just basically won the game. I don't get to set up gravity well because of the extra mana cost and stuff, it really just doesn't matter at all. But yeah, this is how someone who's not a complete idiot would actually win the game. Just for reference. Okay, just gridlock, start reactor. Don't even care about the Hellgeyser, so this is 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, so that's blue, red, and 3. Into the cloak. So I can, it's mostly about the dark matter, the block really doesn't matter this turn. Yeah, this time I am actually going to draw properly. False Moon on the visor, double visor. Probably should have done ways not first, but whatever. I was focused on not screwing myself over in the classic way. Get this out of here. Just exile most of my hand. Crossfeed for damage. I didn't use my spell card. I guess it doesn't really matter. This time, leave like 2 of these at most. Honestly, the Sunspot already gives me like 4. I really didn't need to do this. I could just exile everything. Generate a ton of heat from the Waste Knot and the copy, which I play 2 of them. Have an empty hand. Take no damage anyway. And actually win the game this time. Like, False Moon on Sunspot. I'm taking 52 here. Oh, less because of White Hole, but still. Should be careful. Do these. And you just... One Dark Matter. Gets her below 600. And already to the damage cap, in fact. And I could do like Crow Who Stole the Song and False Moon Crow Who Stole the Song. I've already died like an idiot once, I don't want to do it again. So yeah, I'm going to draw a few cards, only a few cards this turn. But she's gonna pull out the Winked Key this turn. Yeah, this is the Winked Key. So I can actually just, you know, block the scissor damage. Like Dark Matter twice. One alone is already almost to the damage cap, the second one goes way over. This time I exile it with like, you know, intentionally because I'm going to keep barrier for the next turn. And next turn I'm actually just killing her anyway. Yeah, leave more room in my hand. And yeah, this turn, like, just flare up kills. You can kill any which way you want, really. And yeah. My personal favorite, just play Dark Matter and watch Sage die. Play one Dark Matter, deal 300 damage. So yeah, that's the game. Restart of shame, because you know I'm complete and absolute idiot. And fucked up the extremely basic plan that I set for myself right before the combat. Like, okay, so the plan is I don't even need to upgrade the energy release because I'm just gonna clone it several times, and that will be my block ending. And then turn 1 I exile it and just lose the fight because of it. So yeah, well, not just that, also the overdraw mistakes, because I forget that. Where's the Gravity Well adds Dark Matter to my hand. I forgot that the False Moons had Replenish, so I was actually gonna draw extra cards. So yeah, just... I consider this like a defeat for me, but I did want to at least show off how powerful Utsuho could be with the proper setup, and how she could easily defeat Seiya here if you don't act like a complete idiot like I just did. Hope you enjoyed the run. I definitely did until like the last 5 to 10 minutes where I showed off I play like a moron sometimes. And yeah, I just hope you enjoyed it. That was Red Utsuho. It was mostly a hybrid build rather than just red, but you know, it was definitely heat focused, I can tell you that much at least. So yeah, next video is probably going to be... I intend to start recording the seed of the week from the Discord whenever I can, so probably like Thursday or on the weekend I'll try and have a video up of the seed. I'll probably just... for the seed runs, I'll probably commentate quite a bit less. I'll mostly be focused on gameplay and just commentate when I feel like I am just relaxed and the run's basically already won and stuff. But yeah, for the seed gameplay, I'll probably just not talk as much, and that way the videos will also be a bit shorter rather than, you know, the usual 3+ hours. This one should be like relatively short, I guess. I think it was less than 2 hours. Regardless, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked seeing Utsuho play. I enjoyed the hybrid build I did quite a lot. Still heat focused, which I did want to show off because when I do the modded characters, I tend to prefer showing off the intended archetypes rather than, you know, just random stuff. I can... like the sub themes and stuff. But yeah, speaking of which, if that was if the gameplay and discussion was all you're interested in, you can close the video now. I wanted to check the collection because I wanted to see what I missed when I didn't pick up the... wait, was it white or green? Which exhibit was I offered? Oh, it was the Cousin's Medicines. I feel like... I hope I'm not misremembering. It was this run that I got offered Cousin's 100 Medicines, right? So I did have a failed attempt before this, so might have been that, but yeah, I think it was this run. So yeah, I wanted to see what I missed out on when I didn't try to pick up green cards. 9 Radiation, which is basically heat that never decays. You can turn deal damage... well, not heat, like time pulse that never decays, sorry. At the end of the turn, deal damage to all enemies. I do like the upgraded cameras, actually, the growth for more radiation. Yes, this can be like a one-card win-con. Just play this over and over, just kill the opponent with growing DPS. And Reignition deal damage equal to 2 times the number of cards in exile. This wouldn't even be bad, but you know, by the time I had a lot of cards in exile, I feel like the enemies were already dead. And then Turbo Fuel, start of the player's turn, gain 2 energy, draw 2 cards, then exile a random card. Very good engine if you can actually feed the Dark Matter into this. Just 4 mana, draw 2, gain 2 every turn. Goes down to 2. Jesus, this is a very. Yeah. Okay, the green cards seem very, very good. Then there's a red-green one here. Radioactive Hot Spring. Start player's turn, gain 6 radiation, increases by 1 every turn. Okay, so very similar idea to Gamma Rays, just every turn you gain more and more radiation and you slowly kill the enemies. Yeah, these would be absolutely perfect for like a... Yeah, the like either a hybrid build like ours or a mass defensive build. Because you use the mass to feed the turbo fuel, and you just have things like Gamma Rays and Hot Spring or Reignition as your slowly growing damage. Well, you'd have to upgrade Reignition for it because it loses XL. So yeah, that's what we missed out on. Not sad about it, but you know, they are very good options. I'm not sad because the wrong ended up being like completely amazing anyway. But the green cards are definitely like very, very solid. Like damn, really like these. Yeah, okay, that was actually 100%. I hope you enjoyed the video, hope you continue watching. Next video is likely to be the seed of the week, and then after that I'll either show off a new modded character that has like caught my eye relatively recently after her most recent round of changes, or I'll just finish the cycle and just, you know, finish lock on Jomu. I'm pretty sure is the one I'm missing from the 3 modded characters I showed off. And that's about it. Yep. Have a good one, and hopefully next time I won't have a sore throat because I already feel the pain. Honestly, I'll probably not talk for the rest of the day. And bye bye. Have a good time.